If you are driving your car out on the road, that means you are aware that there's snow, there's freezing temperatures, and a lot of different elements and factors that play into how we drive and how we take care of our vehicles. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that. Winterizing your vehicle, some people say. So joining me right live on The Splash is someone from our local auto mechanic shop who can actually give us a little bit more details and insights. So from Midas Auto Repair in West Bloomfield, we have owner Alex Ho joining us. Thank you for being here, Alex.
Hey, of course. Thank you so much, Kevin.
I think you are in a very unique position and occupation, specifically in automotive and automotive repair in our community, because a lot of us, for the most part, we can experience car issues during the winter time. So from what you've seen, let's get straight into it. What are some of the most common car issues that you see during the winter months in West Bloomfield?
So unfortunately it's going to be really batteries. Extreme temperatures, hot and cold, will kill a battery. You got tires, right? It's getting icy. People that you lose air in your tires when the temperature drops. So we're getting a lot of customers with tire issues, and then issues with no heat. Right, this is the first time that people are using their heat, and they're realizing that there's a problem with it, whether it's blowing hot or cold, whether it's blowing cold, or whether maybe it's not blowing air at all. So those are really the main three.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. So I want to kind of step into those. Just a side quest real quick. Battery, tires, and heat. What are some signs that we can kind of see that our battery may be losing its power and may not be up to par for the winter season?
So the real way is batteries really only last between 4 to 6 years. So if you're in that window, you should be extra vigilant. Go to your repair shop, have them test your battery, and that's kind of the only way.
Right.
For that 4 to 6 year window. Also when you go to a repair shop, sometimes you get a lot of information. It's hard to understand, hard to remember. But what's really common is that we'll see a battery, and batteries, they leak battery acid. They sometimes look like a coral reef. I don't know if you've ever gone into your storage room at home and you whipped out an old Duracell battery and it's got a coral reef growing on it. If you've ever been told that your battery has that, then you really want to get it cleaned off, because that battery acid, it corrodes the battery, kills the battery prematurely. It's not able to get a good connection. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining your battery well by making sure that those terminals are cleaned off.
Yes, please. I'm so glad you said it. I literally just recently had to replace my battery, so I can 100%.
Okay.
I can 100% relate to that. Yeah, it's important. My neighbors and a few people, so I completely understand. Real quick, tires also. I want to speak on it. Is there a certain amount of tread or something? What should we be looking for to make sure our tires are winter ready?
So tires are measured in 30 seconds of an inch. Most vehicles, like passenger vehicles, like your RAV4, your Camry, your Ford Escape, when they're new, you're at about 30 seconds of an inch. And when you want to replace your tires, when they get down to about 3 or 4, you can use the penny test, right, to check. But really around 3 or 4 is when you want to get your tires replaced. That's how you'll know. Proper tire maintenance is that you rotate your tires every 5,000 miles, which is really, for most people, twice a year.
Okay.
And so if you're doing that, your mechanic should be telling you, hey, your tires are at 7:30 seconds or 8:30 seconds or 4:30 seconds, so you know when to change your tires.
Thank you. Okay. And just for clarification also, when you mean rotate the tires, I want you to kind of explain that. You mean like take the tires and just switch out their location where they actually are?
Yeah, yep. Basically, the fronts go to the back go to the front.
Yep, thank you. I just want to break it down in the simplest terms. Join me right here, live on the splash from Midas Auto Repair in West Bloomfield. We have owner Alex Ho talking about preparing our cars for the winter, winterizing, and different things that we can do to be proactive with our vehicles. Now, we spoke on batteries, spoke on tires. Let's just get to the heat very briefly.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned before, you really don't necessarily know whether or not your heat is working until the winter time. You can even maybe put it on during the summer and you can have the illusion that it's working, but maybe it's the outside heat. So just tell us some things that we can do to maybe even check to make sure our heat is working before the winter. What are some common reasons why heat wouldn't work in your vehicle in West Bloomfield, please?
Yeah, so the most common issue is really the heat's blowing, or you turn your heat on, you're getting air, but it's not warm. That's really, or it's coming out and it's just not powerful. It's not as warm as it should be. That's really nine times out of 10, that's related to the coolant, which is a fluid in your vehicle. Most vehicles have 5 major fluids, right? You got engine oil, power steering, transmission, and gasoline. Coolant is one of the major ones. And even though the name says cool in it, coolant is what's actually converted to turn into heat in your vehicle. All the science behind your engine, the coolant is really the blood of your heat. And so what we find is customers either are low on coolant, because it leaked out or it evaporated, or they have an issue with that system where it's leaking coolant. Coolant is, what happens is coolant over time will accumulate contaminants. It's just like, if you left a cup of coffee on your front counter, you're not going to probably drink that after 3 days because it might have some stuff in it.
Good point.
Same thing happens to your coolant over time. Lots of contaminants get into it, and those contaminants, well, your engine's really hot, right?
Right.
And those contaminants burn up and evaporate, and then that fluid just gradually, naturally decreases. So it's something that you want to make sure you do a radiator flush or a coolant service. You do that routinely. Every car is different, but the hard and fast rule is about 50,000 miles, 5 years, and get some fresh coolant in there, and that'll make sure that your heat's running nice.
Oh, first of all, thank you, Alex, for that very valuable information. I'm kind of experiencing the same thing right now with the heat thing, so I'll have to make sure I check my coolant. And just for clarification also, antifreeze and coolant, are they the same thing?
They are. Yep.
Just want to paint that picture also. Thank you so much. Hey, Alex, we appreciate everything that you brought to the table, all of your valuable information. Any additional tips, practices, or notes that you want to give to our audience that we didn't discuss today about winterizing our vehicles?
Yeah, so on the topic of coolant, a lot of customers top off their coolant. And you just want to make sure that when you go to the gas station to buy it, or you go to the Advanced Auto Parts or wherever, you want to make sure that it's, because they sell it in concentrate, or they sell it in 50/50 where it's already been diluted with water. And you want to make sure that whatever you're putting in has been 50/50 diluted with water. Because if you put the straight concentrate stuff in there, it's not going to work. So just make sure you're doing that. Call me anytime. I'm happy to give that advice over the phone. I can look up the specification on your car, tell you what type of coolant you need so you get the right one.
Nice.
No, otherwise, yeah, I'm happy to be a resource and really appreciate being on the show.
And we appreciate you too, Alex. Thank you again for serving our West Bloomfield community, our drivers alike, and making sure that we are all safe. Once again, from Midas Auto Repair in West Bloomfield, owner Alex Ho. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.